All right. Hope everybody's well today, guys. Blessings, blessings. Let's go ahead and get into it. Come on in, guys. As you're tuning in, go ahead and let me know where you are dialing in from. Bring it on in, guys. Listen. Also, if you are an affiliate marketer, all right, I want to make this quick plug while we're waiting for people to come on. If you're an affiliate marketer and you're aware of a program that teaches people how to build their brand, but more specifically, injects leads into the client's accounts. I was a part of something a while back, and it was like one of the coolest things. I'm still looking for this. I had heard, now it ended up dissolving. I actually had problems getting my leads after a while, and I'm not surprised they ended up going belly up, but I definitely got my money's worth out of it. But I heard that they had copied off of another opportunity that existed, and if I can get my hands on that, I would love to. But listen, if you're an affiliate marketer, if you know of any program out there that teaches people how to build their online brand, because I don't need any of that, but I would like to share it with people to help them learn how to build their brand. And what I'm looking for specifically that would help me is if they offered a lead injection as a part of the subscription model or plan or whatever. So let me know, guys, if you know of anything that's out there. But guys, as you're tuning in, go ahead, comment. Let me know where you're coming in from, and we'll go ahead and put you guys on blast here and give you a shout out. We've got Kelly from Cali. Blessings. Not only did you make the live, Cali, but you're the first to comment. Trey from Tennessee. Blessings. Clark from Ghana. Digger from Tampa. Drazen from Croatia. Mike from Arizona. Come on in, guys. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We've got Jeff from not Tulsa, but Tulsa. We've got Helen from Alabama. Guys, come on in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Thank you for your kind response. I never responded. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. Blessings to you, though. Roach from New York. Edinburgh, Nell, who is a channel member there, guys. The membership doesn't give you anything. It just allows you to support us, guys. That's all. Appreciate Anel for your support. God bless you. Sakani from South Africa. Shonda from Louisiana. And Rajesh from Pakistan. God bless you. All right. That being said, come on in, guys. Keep coming in. Jana from Tampa, who was just back from Tennessee. Come on in, guys. Blessings, blessings. All right. Let's talk about this. I want to share the charts with you real quick. Because in a recent video, Greg Asaurus talks about his desire for Chinese food. Bless you, Greg. Good to see you. All right. So I want to share this with you because when I did this recently, I had a gentleman email me and he was like, yo, he was like, you were so right on because, and then he begins to tell me what he told me, but I'm going to show you really quickly what I can do on the charts. Okay, watch me do tricks. You ready? Here we go. So this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. You can see it was basically pretty dominant here up near the 100% range until altcoins began to be birthed. And it started in around 2016. You can begin to see some movement. This is where it really began. I guess our first altcoin season was in 2017, I would imagine, at least in a big way. But we've talked about this ascending wedge that's been going on now for about 3 years. Never before have we seen such a consistent bearish pattern. Bearish meaning an ascending wedge is a very strong reversal pattern where it's going to break to the downside. We are seeing that happening. Now, this is the monthly chart. So every one of these candles represents a month. Long time. We're going to go to the 4-hour where you can see it much better. And then I'm going to show you what's taking place. I drew this trend line to show that descending wedge for eons and eons, and some reason it is not loading properly. Well, it's about to, because I'm going to make it with the hard refresh. So loading. There it is. I'm like, where's my trend line? All right. So this is the trend line you saw on the 2-year pattern. Now it's really zoomed in. And we're only seeing, from January of this year. I don't know why it's not going back. I'll just let it. Maybe I just need to be patient. But regardless, this is really all you need to see, because this goes further back. Remember, there was just a bunch of scribble in here for years back. This is only from January 2025 right now. And so it stayed in this trend line. And we broke out a little bit here in December. Okay, actually, you can't see December because why is this not working? Hang on. Let me change to the 1-hour, and then let me change to the 4-hour. And it's still going to be weird. I don't even know why it's trying to do this right now. Give me a second. I'm determined now. You done pissed me off, TradingView. There it is. All right. So here's the day chart. We're going to go to the 4-hour chart, see if we can get it to come back. Ugh! What the heck? You are stupid. All right, hang on. What on earth? We're going back to the day chart, and we're just going to say forget about it. So here's 2025. In December of 2024, you can see we broke to the downside. That's when we had a pretty good altcoin run after crypto took off in November, right? Bitcoin, all these different things. And then this kind of triggered an little altcoin run. However, we got back up into the wedge, and here we go, continuation. Just recently in July, we began to break out of this again. And the gentleman that emailed me, he said, you know what? You're absolutely right. He says, normally after it breaks out, it tries to come back and touch that bottom trend line again and hits a resistance. And that's what really forces it down. Well, look, boom, it hit it here, and then it knocked it back down, and then boom, it hit it here, tried to pierce through again, but it got resisted. Because remember, support always becomes resistance. Resistance always becomes support, right? That's how it works. So this line that has been the resistance for 3 years, a 3-year breakout, guys, is just ridiculous. And I'm just telling you right now, I've been telling you for a long time, this is going to be an incredible altcoin season. However, this is why read my lips. No new taxes. All right. You guys remember that, George Bush? All right. So what I'm trying to tell you is this is where this is kind of scary. It's going to be a little upsetting for some people because some people aren't going to know how to process it. I believe that the crash is going to be coming after we begin to have a little bit of a run. Remember, because that's what we've been tracking for this duration now. Because we're in the breakout mode. I was showing you guys this a couple days ago, how it was broke out and how we were, and I got this email where the gentleman messaged me and said, that because he was obviously more skilled than I am, And he said, normally when it breaks out like this, it goes back to retest that trend line, and then it sends it back down. Well, it's retested it twice now. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is the following. This is kind of a witness or a testimony on the charts. This is not prophetic. Nothing of what I'm sharing with you, except for when the charts align with the prophetic. Then, of course, it can have value. But if you were paying attention to the charts alone, if you pay attention to the charts alone, then you're probably going to be in a really bad spot. And I don't know, but this might be the time when, where Brandon Biggs had mentioned people are not going to survive the shakeout. Because remember, well, let me shrink this back up so you can really see the bigger picture. Remember, this has been, really working up steam now for 3 years. 3 years this has been since this started, right? September of 2022. Boom. That's when this trend line began. And so for 3 years, it's been really, really ramping up steam, which is just incredible. What is it incredible for? This downward breakout, okay? And which is going to just cause altcoin season to run what could be for, a long time, like even a year, like, you know what I mean? Like, who knows, but longer than it's probably ever. And this is why I believe that, this is why I believe that, listen, Peter, I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about. When the SPY hits 667, there will be the crash, the praise 02. Okay. Whatever you say. Because, you might be referencing a channel. Fine. And, there's several channels that believe that they have received price points of where the crash is going to occur. Absolutely worth consideration, guys. I have had people send me prophetic words and dreams of people thinking that XRP is going to go to a penny, literally. And I'm just like, I don't think so, guys. That's why in my video yesterday, I shared specifically that I believe I saw the bottom. Now, I mentioned, I'm not quite sure what bottom, but I would imagine that it would be the bottom of that crash because of how vivid and detailed and specific that breakdown was, that movie that I had in my sleep. And so anyhow, that being said, if people are trusting in the charts alone, now this is a good sign for now, because I'm just sharing with you. Well, it's a good sign even when the crash recovers, because even though we could get interrupted on the altcoin run, it doesn't mean that it's over. What it means is that it may, temporarily affect it, but it could get back into play. And it still means that we could potentially be on the biggest, altcoin season, especially. Hello. And that's just if it were up to the charts. We know that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes as well, with the XRP case being dismissed, as was prophesied, that would cause the trajectory to begin to skyrocket, as well as the foundation that is being laid behind the scenes. But regardless, we know we're following the prophetic, but I'm here to tell you, be very careful. Be very careful about this last final stage of collecting profits before the crash. Just keep this in mind. Remember what I've said. Remember what other prophets have said that are seeing the crash. that is, because if they're not, then they're going to tell you to hold it in. And if you do, honestly, guys, if you do hold it in, and I know I said this before, that if it begins to crash and you realize the word is accurate, can I tell you what I recommend? And I'm not a financial advisor. This is about the prophetic. If you see it crashing and you don't trust in the prophetic word from the beginning, don't try to trust in it when it's crashing, because you're going to become a nervous wreck. You didn't believe it to begin with. Now you're going to try to believe it while it's going down. And that could be dangerous anyway, because if it's not accurate, and I'm just throwing this out there, I believe it's 100% accurate, but watch this. If it wasn't, that would be the most foolish move anyway, to try to catch, to try to sell at a low. Like if it's going down and you try to get out because let's say it's not the timing yet, and then you sell and then it goes back up and you're like, oh snap. And then you try to try to play catch up and try to buy back in. You understand what I'm saying? So this is where most people get wrecked, even when following the prophetic, because they don't, as the scripture, or not the scripture, as we say in our ministry, the same faith that you started with needs to be the same faith that you finished with. And so if you didn't believe in the crash word, when the market begins to go down, if you try to sell on the way down, it could be a bad move for you. Because they say the market never goes in one direction in a straight line. And so even on its way down, many times it'll jog back and forth. People will think that's the bottom and they'll buy in, which will send it up a little bit, and then only to find out that it wasn't, the bottom, and it goes more, you know what I mean? And so the reason why I'm sharing this with you, that's right. What do you mean hold? I mean, staying in the market while it's crashing. Like if you are holding XRP, I'm talking about don't try to sell on the way down to try to grab hold of the crash prophetic word, because I'm just telling you, if you didn't believe in it to begin with, you're going to really struggle with it while it's all going crazy, and you're going to be panic selling, and it's just better if you have determined to hold through the crash in case it's true, then just hold through the crash. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm sharing with you guys. But for now, I just wanted to pull this chart up real quick and to show you this Bitcoin dominance chart. So this was on the day chart. I'm going to try to go to the hour chart. Let me see if I can find some actual data here. So I guess this is the most, this is good actually. The 1 hour chart looks great. So this is where it broke through on July 18th. And then it just kind of, came up and retested the line right away. Like it was working. That's what determines whether it's just dipping below and coming back up, or if it's really, and you can see after it tested it a little while, it sent it down. And then, it began to work its way back up, and it was like, oh, I'm here again. Let me see if I could break through. And then it did, but it was like, you are getting sent. and then it comes down. You know what I mean? And so, and then, it did it again. So this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 retests on the 1 hour chart. But now you could see what's happening here. Now you could see it's coming back down to where it had bottomed on the 9th, 3 days ago. Probably the day I did that video. And so this is going to be another support where this bottomed. Does that make sense? Because it sent it back up before. So that means it's going to be a point of support, or really resistance, I guess. No, support, because support for the Bitcoin dominance. And that's it, guys. However, because we are being sent downward right now, and this has all happened in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 hours. This has all happened, no, 7. Because this has all happened today, let's just simplify it. It's basically pumping the alts right now. We're getting a little bit of a boost. And now let's go to the XLM. And let's show you guys that chart anyhow. So if you guys are wondering what chart this is, like, where do I get this information, how beautiful it is. This is that trading program that I'm a subscriber of. I love this. I pay $10 a month for this, and it gives me more than TradingView would on a $50 a month subscription, guys. It's powerful. And the guy who was that was selected to build Coinbase Advanced is the owner of this company. So anyhow, you got a big W pattern here. Boom. Let me draw, I guess. Oh, that's a ugly. What happened? I think, yeah, something like that. You can see the W, right? There you go. And so that's a bearish pattern, but it's only on the 1 hour chart. Let me see if it shows up on the 4 hour. Probably not. Oh, I'm brushing again. How did that happen? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. That's when it's above my pay grade. I try to submit this into AI and have it tell me what's going on here. Is that a W? I don't know. Does the rule of thumb be that it has to touch the same bottoms? I don't know. But let me show you this anyway. And maybe you guys that are traders on here. But nonetheless, it could send this up a little bit even further. But you can see we've got a line of resistance actually where this line's already drawn here at the 45.68, because you could see it touched here, 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 here. And, this is where another resistance that it's going to have to break through. But then the top of this candle mess up here is going to be the next line of resistance. Now, how strong? Whoops. How come that didn't go all the way through? Oh, so how strong it is will be determined on the larger chart period. So 1 hour, 4 hour, and that's when you begin to go back here and find out on the longer time periods. This line right here that shows the top on these, it was a support level for all this mess here. So that's why it's become a resistance for this. This here definitely is a line of resistance for here. You see that? And so, but you can go even further. I don't even know if it goes back to that price. Has XLM ever been up to this level before November of 2024? Probably not. Anyhow, so hope that makes sense, guys. And remember, no, TradingView is $50 a month. TradingView is $50 a month. This program that teaches you how to trade and read the charts, it's on my crypto website, and they charge you $99 for the first month, and then it is $39 a month. $39 a month. Now you can use TradingView for free without all the bells and whistles. That's what I was just showing you. But if you want their sophisticated trading portal, it's an additional $10 a month. And that $10 a month gives you what TradingView charges you $50 a month for. So it's a much better. Mr. Miyagi, do market yes or do market no? Do market so-so. Get squashed just like grape. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Never heard that one before. Yeah, always consider your buying and selling fees. And that's why, guys, listen, that's why I've told you guys about getting that access to those exchanges that, only a select few can get into. It's all in my crypto course, guys. That's why I teach this stuff, because they've got the lowest fees in the world. Booyah. Is today the last day in the window for that prophetic word to take place? The word about a world event that was not going to be good, if I remember correctly. So if you remember when I initially shared that, I said specifically that timelines, dates are difficult in the prophetic. And a lot of people don't understand that. So, you can say, if you have that strict scrutinous mentality where you believe it must happen on the 10th day or by the 10th day in order to be an accurate prophetic word, I don't believe that at all, because I know better. But if you believe that, then you're welcome to, completely throw it out if you choose. But this is why most people miss the prophetic, because they don't learn from people who actually operate in it. And that's where these teachings come from, is from those who actually operate in it. They'll tell you timing can be difficult in the prophetic. And the answer is, the reason why is I'm not quite sure. I'm sure that other people know. I've never really looked into it. But yeah. I wonder if the information concerning time can be manipulated by the enemy. That might be why. Because here's the thing, is there's certain information that, if released by God, that the enemy will know how to time or what have you. And That's why if you read the scripture concerning where the Bible says no one knows the day or the hour of Christ's return, not even Jesus himself, but only the Father. The reason for that is, I believe it's because God is keeping that information in the reserve access so that it cannot be used to disrupt the plan of the Lord. I mean, think about it. There would have to be a reason why he would not want to divulge that information. And that's what I believe is taking place. So that's why I think that if certain information was to get out, that it can be manipulated. So maybe that's why. And when you say, you know, when you have skepticism on that, look at the book of Daniel, chapter 10. This is where the whole teaching about delay comes from. Daniel chapter 10 talks about when Daniel prayed. Actually, the angel says, the moment you set your heart to understand, God sent me to you. He says, but the prince of Persia had resisted me for 21 days until Michael, the archangel, came down to help me out, and I was able to come to you. 21 days after this angel was released on an assignment, he finally got to him because he was held up in spiritual warfare in the realm of the spirit. Now, if you read that chapter, it is very interesting that the same duration of time that the angel was held up was the same duration of time that Daniel was fasting. He fasted for 21 days. The angel was released on the 21st day. So people who obviously read that catch the revelation and they're like, wow, there truly is an assist when we do the things of the spirit that we're called to do. And so we basically co-labor with the hosts of heaven, if you will, in doing the acts that we're supposed to do. Amen. So Kelly says, when you sell, do you sell for USD, USDC, or it doesn't matter? Kelly, before the dollar crash, a stable coin like that would be fine. But after the dollar crashes, we aren't going to be doing that. In fact, XRP was prophesied to be the most stable when that happens. But for now, and when this crypto crash comes, I did the video yesterday. I don't think it's going to be when the dollar crashes. And otherwise, God would have never shown me what he showed me. And so I can be assured, I want to clarify that, I can be assured by what I saw from the Lord that it will happen specifically the way God intended, and that the dollar will not have crashed yet, or that move that he's showing me will have made it have no benefit. And I will be honest with you guys. I will be 100% honest with you. I believe that there's a lot of people that are sitting on the sidelines waiting for this crash to occur to even see if they can trust what the Lord shows me. And if that's the case, guys, by all means, come along for the ride and be that spectator if that's what you want to be right now. By all means, I'd rather have you test it rather than refute it before you actually see it manifest, like the critics in the comment section, right? So, and it's crazy, the accuracy of the things that God has shown me, because, for example, the 92 cents, after he told me a week to a week and a half, and then 2 months and 3 weeks later, the doubting Thomases are welcome. 2 months and 3 weeks later, on the 10th day after it took off, when God said a week to a week and a half, And then he showed me 92 cents. On that 10th day, the resistance was 92 cents. 2 months and 3 weeks later, it was fulfilled to the penny. It was crazy. And then that was the day that Brad Garlinghouse came on Fox News and he said, it's amazing what can happen in 10 days, citing the exact week and a half period that God had spoken to me in my dream 3 months prior. Let me give you more, Kelly, because I have more for you on this question that you asked. And let me bring up your comment so that I can touch on it real quick. Kelly asked, when you sell, do you sell for USD or USDC? And I'm going to throw another one in there, or USDT. And the answer is, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Let me show you, actually. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. You're going to see. You're going to pay attention. And you're going to understand. Okay? Forget about it. Hold on a second. Here we go. Ready? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Coinbase. Coinbase. All right. No. Yes. Okay, here we go. Coinbase. Here we go. So on Coinbase, which, by the way, has a really fancy pump going on here with a little XRP. In fact, let's just have fun and go to XLM real quick. Okay, this is actually what I wanted to show you. You ready? I'm going to enlarge this because I typed in XLM. This is what I need you to see. Now, this is Coinbase. So on Coinbase, when I type in XLM, you can see they have 4 markets with XLM. They've got XLM USD, XLM USDT, and then these are not stable coins, right? Well, the euro is, but you're obviously going to pick, here's the, well, this is view only anyway, so you can't do anything with it. But look at the volume. The volume is 39.6 million. All right, just kidding. I'm having a fun day. You ready? All right. So $39.6 million on the USD pair of XLM. Only 200,000 on the USDT pair. Now, let me ask you, based upon these numbers, which one are you going to choose, Kelly? And I want the right answer. You've only got one choice. Tell me what you're going to pick right now. Drum roll, everybody. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Talk to me, Kelly. Talk to me. Let's hear what you got to say. There might be a delay. There might be a delay. USD, she says. All right, guys. You know what? Hang on a second. Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. All right, check this out. Kelly, right here is a Bitcoin. Obviously, it's not real because Bitcoins aren't physical. They're digital. But I bought this in the shops at Istanbul, Turkey. I gave a few of them away to my audience a long time ago when I was doing different crypto opportunities. And this was mine that was left over. I'm going to send that to you if you give me your address, because you just won the prize. Now, it's not real gold, so don't get that excited, but you're welcome to get excited. Okay. Here's my email address. All right. Email me, Kelly, and I'm going to send you this little fancy. Don't I sound like an infomercial right now? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Very cool. So, um, a brand new Winnebago. But wait, there's more. Okay. All right. Very cool. Guys, listen. Uh, do me a favor. Please be careful about sharing opinions as a matter of fact. Okay. Please be careful. Um, I talked about this the other day about people claiming that USDT would crumble because they don't believe it's really backed and all these different things. We've been through that so many times in this space, and it's just been a bunch of, fear. But when the dollar crashes, I can assure you both of these are going to follow because USDC is tethered to the dollar just like USDT is. So don't say USDC will not when it absolutely will when the dollar crashes, guys. Unless, I don't know how that would work. If it was halfway backed by gold, for example, that would obviously keep it supported. But even still, they would probably not give you more than what the dollar was worth. I don't know. That's just me speculating. But that's kind of my point, is that it's hard without actual prophetic to try to determine hang on, guys. It's my wife. All right. So Kelly says, wait, question. It's interesting, though, on my page, when I sell, it gives me the option of either USD or USDC, not USDT. I think it's because I purchased in XLM USD. Are you on Coinbase? Because if you're not on Coinbase, then it's not going to be the same. Let me know. Let me know. You're on Coinbase. All right. So, yeah, I don't really know. Like I said, though, pick the one that has the biggest volume. All right. Because that's when you buy or when you sell, you want to pick the one that has the largest volume. And guys, I have this in my crypto course. Guys, can I just be honest with you? I have said concerning my crypto course, my getting started in crypto course, I've said numerous times, you're going to want this information before it's, the time when you need it or when it's too late. And okay, good for you. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. If the dollar crashes, USDC is going to crash too, guys. I'm just telling you, like it's tethered to the price of the dollar. So let's go ahead and go to. That's so weird. I don't understand why it's giving you USDC, Kelly. Because if I go and type in XLM, all it has is USDT and USD. That's very strange. Oh, you're not on futures, are you? You're not leverage trading, are you? No. I don't see even that option on futures. So disregard that. That's just strange. I don't know. Are you in a different country? What country are you in? Canada? Yeah, I'm on Coinbase Advanced as well. I had buy orders set on Coinbase. Okay, you're in California. Shoot, that might make a difference. I don't know. Everything's different in New York and California for crypto. I had buy orders set on Coinbase with USDT because it wouldn't let me with USD. But now I see that option. I'm going to have to switch it now. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, guys, it matters. Liquidity matters. Liquidity matters. Liquidity matters. Liquidity matters. Liquidity matters. Because when you go to place a trade, if there's only 200,000, like we just saw, that's going to be tough for you if you aren't prepared in having selected the right dealio. The right dealio. Okay. XLM is up to 45.36. 45.36. That's what I'm seeing. Now, so let's just show you this real quick. Let's have another little conversation. I plan to hold my little XRP till we can use it as payment. Please explain if you think XRP will skyrocket, as I think you've said. That's fine, but if the dollar falls, will it still be worth that? Okay. I plan to hold my XRP till we can use it as payment. Good. Please explain. And by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. Please explain if you think XRP will skyrocket, as I think you've said. I believe it will, absolutely, after it goes down for a little short period. He said, if the dollar falls, will it still be worth the value? Yes. In fact, it's been prophesied that it will be the most stable when all of the markets are crashing across the world. So yeah, so and this, guys, this is my point. Tether said its coin is backed by gold, but many doubt this is true. Honestly, it doesn't really matter because the dollar's going to crash. I don't know how many times I got to keep saying this. So right now, people are using it, guys. In fact, I'm using it to make the maneuvers. I'm not worried about it until the dollar crashes, guys. And God is like showing me to utilize it for these moves. So, yeah. Anyway, let's try not to get too far off course here, guys. But let me show you this chart. So remember this. I'm going to try to use my drawing here again. Wait, what was that? I guess we could use the highlighter. However, I need to change what I'm seeing. Oh, much better. All right. Really? There we go. But can I get my highlighter back? All right. So basically, you've got this long candle, right? And then, how come I can't? Oh, there maybe. And then you've got this, you know, like bull flag basically. And however, if we were to draw like the trend line, it would be this. And that's my amateur stuff, guys, okay? And then this was the point of breakout where it came above that trend line. And now, as we zoom in, or as I clear my chart, you've got exactly another one of these things that has formed. Another one. Same exact deal. And then you've got the trend lines at the top and the bottom, and then that flag, right? And so what we're going to do is I'm going to show this to you as I expand it. And I'm going to draw. Now, originally, you could probably say that these might have been the trend lines, I guess, until, you know, this pump. I don't really know. I know that's the bottom, though, clearly. However, we basically, you know what? Let me go ahead and go to the 15-minute chart. And then that'll probably give me more data. So honestly, I would still say that this is basically this line. In fact, it looks to be accurate because look at this. Whoa. Look at what happened here. See this little jogging going on here? It was just dancing, dancing, dancing. That little mess proves that this was that line of resistance or support. And that once it broke through, it had to dance along that line to determine what it was going to do. And remember the Bitcoin dominance chart. Remember the Bitcoin dominance chart that I had showed you guys that was doing the same thing. I showed you once it broke through, it had to do this little dance. Well, here's the dance again. And so these things, they rhythm and they rhyme from crypto to crypto, because reading the charts, guys, I'm telling you, you can really learn some stuff from this. That's why I really encourage you guys to buy the course. Like I said, it's $99 for the first month, and then it's $39 a month after that. Let me go up to my website really quickly, and I'm going to pull it up. Now, here's my website, okay? This is the Crypto Solutions page. And then this is my course. This is not the one that teaches you how to read the charts. This is the one that teaches you, you know, how to base your trades on the largest liquidity, just like I told you, how to get access to those exchanges that have the lowest fees across the world that not many people can get access to, okay? And then if you scroll down to the bottom of my page, okay, same exact website, and I have the link in the description section, you're going to see this is where it is. Learn how to trade crypto and read the charts. Learn how to trade crypto and read the charts. Okay. And so that's where you're going to be able to find the link to that course. All right. And so Yeah, you know, it's crazy, guys. Like every time somebody says something like this, you get another person that says, no, that's not what they said. They said this, and then here's the video. And it's like, I honestly, I don't like you. If you want to provide for me where he said that, I'd be more than happy to take a listen to it. But guys, my dream that I had in May and April, where the Lord showed me everything is about to change, everything is about to change. Brandon Biggs says in a 24-hour period, everything's about to change. So many prophets have said everything's about to change. I did the video compilation about all of these voices in the prophetic streams saying everything's about to change. Like, I'm telling you that, you know, I believe that the crash is going to come, you know, before the bull run, because like I said, the Lord showed me XRP going to 504 was the top number, 394, 398. I believe we're going to see that before the crash, because that's the way he showed me. And others have said the same exact things. David Williams said he saw XLM going to 80 cents and then crashing. And that would be extremely consistent with everything. So you have to understand, guys, when a prophet says, and I don't know what Manuel Johnson says, I respect the man of God. I respect all of them. But let me tell you something. We all see in part. I don't know how many times I got to say this. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I've had so many people that have said the same thing. So, you know, that I've had people say this, that he said that, and then several came behind that person and said, no, he was talking about the stock market, right? And so this person believes that the crash will happen when Bitcoin hits 136,000. Okay, I'm not sure where you've heard that, but inquiring minds would like to know. But that would be somewhat consistent with what we've heard as well. And that's my point. So the reason I'm telling you this is that, man, like, you got to be careful listening to what people say a prophet said. By all means, be careful, because some people, and in fact, I just had a comment on my channel, and wonder if I can find it. Anyway, he was trying to repeat my dream that I had, and he had it all wrong. I'm like, he's like, now you said this, 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 and this. And I'm like, no, no, I didn't. And that's the thing, is that some people, you guys remember, I don't know, I was in kindergarten, right? When I learned this, you would say something to someone, they would say it to someone else, and by the time you would hear what the last person had heard, was totally scrambled from what you had said initially. And sometimes, yes, that's an example that involved 15 kids, right? 15 people. But sometimes it only takes one wrong way of hearing it to have it distorted. Or you hear a prophet saying one thing and you think he's talking about something else. It's dangerous. Like, you know, be sure you know what you're hearing. Wow. Are the scammers actually on my live chat right now? That's crazy. Are the scammers on my live chat right now? This is crazy. Because guys, all these comments in the comment section where people are like, you know, oh, thanks, you know, I did what you suggested and I bought XA1927643 niner JYZ, and I'm making $7.6 million a day. Thanks for the advice, John. And they're just scams, guys. Be careful about those people in the comment section. All right, please. No, she said she was on Coinbase Advanced. Welcome, Chris from Texas. Blessings. Must be watching with a lot of lag. All right, guys, that's about it. I just wanted to share this with you guys. And, you know, oh, by the way, isn't today the day? Isn't today the day that the XRP thing was supposed to be? People, I don't know. I had some doubts that something was even going to take place today. I just had some doubts, and I wasn't against it, but I just wasn't feeling it. And remember what I said, just because you're not feeling it doesn't mean anything, because we all see in part. And just because I'm not getting that part doesn't mean it can't happen still, even today. But nothing's happened that I'm aware of, except the market's starting to rebound a little bit on its own. I mean, I don't know. Let me know if they've announced anything. Anybody? Ethereum always moves first, right? Isn't that traditional? Isn't that traditional in the altcoin season? Is that Ethereum is like the first to move? Is that right? It used to be. EJ Liberty says yes. Oh, Scotizo says these days, Litecoin used to lead. There you go. Yes, after BTC, Ethereum, then other alts. That's what I thought, right? Ethereum preludes alt season. There you go. There you go. Cheryl, what are you referring to? 7 to 10 days. What are you referring to? I think we're about the end of the stream, guys, but I'm just leaving time for Cheryl to respond, trying to figure out what this was about. Blessings, Ann from Las Vegas. Oh, guys, do you know the prophet that that I told you about? Do you know the prophet that I told you about? Well, you got me now, Ann. Chris, I don't really know, to be honest with you. I don't really follow him per se. I honor his influence. He's very popular, but I've just never really watched any of his content. I've tried to, catch, but I just never got into it. So, he wouldn't necessarily be anybody that I would have, just because God has not aligned me in that way. So I am making plans to have somebody on my stream in a few weeks, but it's actually going to be he's a very very popular minister. He's across the world right now, and he said that when he gets back, that he'll definitely come on, and we're going to be talking about something actually outside of crypto, just ministry related. But yeah, so all right, I guess that was Cheryl's way of saying she's out, so she's not going to respond. But all right, guys, listen, I just wanted to jump on here and share that with you. If you didn't catch the Bitcoin dominance, wait, now Cheryl's commenting about something different. Okay, I'm confused. I'm just going to let it go. If you missed the Bitcoin dominance, ooh, you know what the Bitcoin dominance just did? This is cool. This is cool. The Bitcoin dominance, it just did it. It just broke through the previous resistance. Remember the floor that sent it back up right here that I drew the line at earlier? While we've been on this live, it actually busted right through it. This is a very good sign. This is a very good sign. This could signal the effect. Like I said, look at what's just happened today. I wonder if this will let me draw. Yeah, looks like it. Still that ugly color. Can you guys, like what in the world? There you go. All right, it changed it. So there you go. You can see what happened just today where these are each one of these. This is the hour chart. So each one of these represents the hour. And here's the crazy part is that, XRP news did not come out today like we had expected. There's still time. Don't, but, we're seeing altcoins look like they're about to kick into high gear, guys. That's what I'm just trying to tell you. So since we've been on, though, and since I showed this earlier, it had not broken through that support, and it just did. So all that to say that this is a good sign. Whoops, I got to get rid of that. And definitely praying that it continues to stay there so that we can see some glory days ahead. Glory days ahead. All right, guys, I'm out. God bless you. Thanks for being on. And yeah, we've already, that's what I was wondering if you were talking about. We've already covered that. In fact, we covered it right before you mentioned what you had mentioned. That timing in the prophetic can be off. But listen, I got to tell you guys something. And I think I might have shared this on a recent broadcast. But this prophet, I just found a video from him from 4 years ago where he was prophesying over me. I think it was 5 years ago where he prophesied over me. Well, because there was like a deadline for them to share something with the courts today or something like that. And they believed this was the day they were going to present, because the judge still needs to rule on the SEC appeals being dropped, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That might be old news, and maybe I'm just in the dark here. Somebody tell me if that's still the case. Doesn't the court still have to rule on what they decided? Is the case actually over? Because the last I read, the judge still had to accept the dismissals. However, this prophet had prophesied to me 5 years ago, and he says, the Lord has a big mission for you. Some people, don't understand it or whatever. And he says, but God is going to fulfill his word over your life. And he said, there's got to be a delay here, guys. There's got to be a delay here. we just cover that. All right. So needless to say, he said, the Lord says that it will come from an unlikely source. The Lord said it will come from an unlikely source. And I believe he was prophesying about XRP, guys. That's what I believe. And so that's where we're at, guys, is stewarding these prophetic words. To God be the glory. Blessings to you all. Take care. God bless.